last time that I had some videos recorded already, but I never got to actually upload because the audio proved to be some issues when I wanted to fine tune the video. So I changed up some things. I have a different tripod set up for my microphone right now, and it's currently off the desk, so should not be able to hear anything related to that at all in the video. And I have the camera a little closer to the actual desk, but we're gonna see how this goes. We're still gonna trial and error this stuff, see what works the best. With the tripod that holds the microphone now no longer being on the actual table itself, it helps control some of the audio quality. So we'll see how it goes. So in front of me right now is a notebook right here. It's gonna be some writing ASMR. Yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. Some writing ASMR. Just gonna write down some things, some little notes while I talk, while I yap. And what better stuff to yap about than to yap about the things that I enjoy, that I find personal enjoyment with, and that I hope that you guys can also, if not enjoy, find some interest in. But in the end, to each their own. You're here for some sleepy tingles, and I'm here to provide, I hope. So, let's get to it. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some writing ASMR, so let me get the bag. So like I said, with the microphone out of the way a little bit, might be the audio a little bit different, just a little bit, because the last couple times I had the microphone right in front of the things I was interacting with, but now I have it off to the side. I actually, I don't know, you guys can't see it, but I have it hanging here from my left. It's actually hanging off of my lamppost because I have a bendable spider-looking tripod. It's bendable, so it's hanging. It looks like an octopus. It's kind of funny. And like I said, the tripod, I switched the tripods between the camera and the microphone, so the camera has a shorter tripod, hence why things look a little bit more closer. It's like you don't have the same field of view as I did before, and now the microphone has the bendable tripod, but I already explained that. I just hope that it still grabs the audio pretty well. If not, well, no one likes to have their time wasted, It's like walking to your car down the road just to find out that you don't have your car keys on you, or the things that you need to go wherever you're going. Let's do that one again. Yeah, let's try that one more time. Let's see if we can do it satisfyingly. Pretty good, pretty good. pencil. Gonna see how that goes. Regular old number 2 pencil. Okay, cool. And those are going to be the 2 tools that we work with. Perfect. Alright, so what I have in front of me is a notebook that mimics a VHS cover of the Disney movie Aladdin. Even on the first page, you can see that it replicates, it copies what you see when you open a VHS box. It even has that hard plastic and the grooves that you use to take the VHS out. You know, you stick your finger in. That way you can get them out better. So. Now then, I got a Disney thing in front of me. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about Disney, right? Yeah. But I'm not going to be talking about Disney movies. I'm going to be talking about the Disney parks. There are a multitude of Disney parks in the world. You have Disneyland, which is in Anaheim, California, as well as California Adventure. These 2 parks are right across from each other, with Disneyland focusing on Disney animated films and such, with a touch of other things. So you have obviously the classics like Peter Pan, Mickey Mouse. You also have Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, Winnie the Pooh. You have Buzz Lightyear in there, although he's Pixar, he's in there. While California Adventures likes to explore some of the other projects like Pixar. There's a Cars Land. There's a Pixar Pier. You also have the Marvel's section in the park, Marvel's campus. And actually, fun thing to note about Marvel's campus. Or Marvel's Avengers campus, I'm sorry. So, prior to Avengers Campus being opening, Universal Studios originally, actually, no, this predates Disney acquiring Marvel, but Universal Studios had the rights to Marvel characters. Universal Studios had the rights to Marvel characters for theme park rides. Meaning that I believe it's in, this is mainly in the Florida park. It's not present in the Hollywood park, but I don't know if it's just Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure. Essentially, you would have the Marvel comic book characters showing up in the amusement park over there in Florida. Of course, you had Spider-Man, you had Captain America, you had the X-Men, you also had their corresponding villains. Just all the heroes and villains that you can think of. And then, of course, I forgot when, but not too long after, Disney acquired characters, as we know. In the very beginning, they only had like the Avengers and stuff, while Sony kept Spider-Man. Well, rather, Marvel was selling the movie rights to characters. Sony had the Spider-Man characters, Fox had the X-Men characters, so on and so forth. But when Disney acquired Marvel, a large handful of Marvel characters now, like, their rights belong to Disney as well. So people were wondering, what about their theme park rights? It wouldn't be fair for them to take them, because people were afraid it would mean closing down the Marvel rights that they had in Universal Studios. And the biggest one was the Spider-Man 3D ride. So the Spider-Man 3D ride is a how do I describe this? For those of you who've ever been to Universal Studios Hollywood, or if you've seen footage of the rides, think of it like the Transformers ride. Essentially, what it is, you are in a little small vehicle that fits up to 8 people, 2 rows. I believe it's 2 rows, 4 in the front, 4 in the back. It is a motion vehicle that goes through a track, and the vehicle can spin 360 degrees. As you go through the ride, you face different screens and set props, and the screens play out the story of Spider-Man. And for any for any activity happening on the screen, like if you're getting shaked or if you're falling, the ride vehicle would simulate that motion with the hydraulic systems in the car. I believe it's hydraulics. There could be a different system that they use, but right now I'm just going to refer to them as hydraulics too, for both lack of better words and to help you paint a picture as to what I'm referring to. So, the Spider-Man 3D ride essentially was that. It was a dark ride, a 3D dark ride. You would travel screen to screen, prop to prop, and follow Spider-Man as he would save New York from the Deadly Six. When Disney acquired the rights to Marvel, people were again afraid that they would be shutting down those rides, but Disney has agreed. Disney has agreed to honor Universal and Marvel's original contract, which lets them have the theme park rights for those characters. There, of course, came. Obviously, Disney wanted to implement those characters into their theme parks, but they had limitations. For starters, no, there could not be any sort of no ride similar to Spider-Man, the Spider-Man ride. So there could be no ride similar to Spider-Man on the East Coast. On the East Coast. So anything on the Eastern Hemisphere, I don't think hemisphere is the right word, but again, lack of better words. Anything on the Eastern Hemisphere could not have the characters nor any rides similar to what Universal has. However, this is not in effect in the West Coast. Now, of course, the West Coast could absolutely use those characters in a theme park. They're doing it right now. Obviously, they implemented Deadpool not too long ago. Deadpool and Wolverine. However, with the character issue aside, they still could not do a ride similar to the Spider-Man ride in Universal Studios, and that's when we got when they gave us Tom Holland Spider-Man. They gave him the ride where you're in a Spider-Man boxcar, traveling to stop spider drones, and you're like shooting webs. Obviously, it is not the most popular attraction, but given their limitations, given the limitations as to what they can and cannot do, I think it's pretty good. I think they came up with something very creative. They definitely came up with something very creative. obviously, as time went on, we got to see Disney, Marvel Studios under Disney's care introduce more and more and more characters, and like the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy. And this is going to segue us into the next couple of Disney parks that I wanted to introduce. But Guardians of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy were very obscure prior to their James Gunn movie release. Of course, after the first movie release, they became popular in their own right. And the first ride to implement them was in California Adventure. Oops, sorry about that. California Adventure first implemented the ride by replacing Tower of Terror. To the distraught of the fans of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Disney completely rethemed it. The ride itself stayed the same. The mechanisms, the functions, it's all fundamentally the same thing. It's just the theming that changed. People were, of course, reasonably upset, but there are other parks in the world that have this ride still. I'm not saying it's cheap to travel across the world or across the country just to ride an amusement park ride, but at least it exists, you know. But not too long ago, what's it called? A roller coaster was made in Epcot in one of the Disney Florida parks. I'll talk about Epcot in a little bit. In the Florida park, they implemented a Cosmic Rewind. That's what it is. Cosmic Rewind was introduced. This happened within the last 5 years. Like, they started the Imagineering process during COVID times, and it's fun. It's kind of the same as Space Mountain, a ride that's in almost all the parks, where it's a dark ride indoor roller coaster. And like I mentioned before previously, to honor the agreement between Universal and Universal and Marvel, they couldn't really have their Marvel characters like in the East theme parks. But the Guardians of the Galaxy were so obscure back then that when the time where it was alright, they were not like Doctor Doom, Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and so many like iconic heroes and villains were originally Universal, but the Guardians of the Galaxy were obscure enough where they could add that in and not face like they weren't breaking contract, things like that. Now then, I mentioned the park name Epcot, and that's one of the many parks in Disney World. Not here, not there. Right here. I'm gonna use the lead pencil for this one. Okay, so Disney World. Before we move on, Disney World was originally planned as a full city. Disney World was originally planned as a full-on city. Like, yeah, that would mean Disney. Like, your coffee shop would be Mickey's coffee shop. You would go pizza, and it's like Pizza Pete, things like that. Like, that's what. This is not true. Like, me saying it is a little bit of an exaggeration. Not the city part. That was like, there was plans. You can look this up. Walt Disney wanted Disney World in Florida to be an actual functioning city society where people go to work, live there, and things like that. Obviously, its name, I'll get to that later. That's going to be a very interesting tidbit. obviously, not only did Walt Disney pass, but there was a lot of limitations back then which kept them from realizing that dream. Disney World became Florida's resort became a resort in Florida, spanning a large chunk of land, as well as being housing multiple resort hotels and things as such. I have yet to go myself, but I really wish to. It would be very good. There's obviously a debate between what's better, Disney World or Disneyland. Disney World has the larger variety, but of course it's hard to beat the original Disneyland, which came first. But we're not going to get into that. Disney World. It features Disneyland California, had Disneyland and California Adventure, two separate parks. Disney World, you have the Magic Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom is where you're gonna find a lot of the similar rides between Disneyland, and this park. Where of course you have, Pinocchio, Snow White, Peter Pan. You have Tomorrowland. You have the Tomorrowland. You have the castle. In fact, it's not it's Cinderella's castle. Cinderella's castle is featured in the Disney World Magic Kingdom Park, while California has Sleeping Beauty's castle. And I'll touch upon that in maybe a future video. Right now, I'm kind of just, for this video, I plan on introducing the parks themselves. I might make this a series, honestly. I could just yap about this stuff for a good chunk. And I know some of you are probably already asleep by this point in the video, but if you aren't, thanks. I'm glad you're listening along. Partner, okay? So. Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's Castle. A lot of similarities between this park and the Disneyland park, but of course there's more. But wait, there's more. You have Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom functions as both a wildlife, like a wildlife safari thing. Like you can take safaris. It's basically a giant zoo with amusement park rides. I can't really think of too much that's very special with Animal Kingdom. Off the top of my head right now, I'm gonna have to look back at my personal notes. Yes, I take personal notes about Disney parks and stuff. Little tidbit about me. I'm studying construction in college. I would like to become an Imagineer and help build the parks. That's why I'm always learning. They say do what you love, or do something related to what you love. I love Disney. I love the Disney parks. If I'm gonna do construction stuff, I want to do construction for the Disney parks. But that's for a future. That's a story for another time. Animal Kingdom. There's nothing I can really think about too much. If you have any interesting facts, then you know about let me know. I love reading about this stuff. Now then, of course, alongside that, you have Disney MGM Studios, which I believe is also under another name. It could be Hollywood Studios. So Disney MGM / Hollywood Studios. So this theme park is mainly centered around movie making. So the theming is about movie productions and stuff. Here is where you're gonna find a lot of rides. This is where you're gonna find Disney's Florida's own Galaxy's Edge, because Disneyland California has Galaxy's Edge, which is a Star Wars land. MGM Studios has that. It's not in Magic Kingdom. It's not in Animal Kingdom. It's in MGM Studios. Sorry. It's like almost 2 a.m. right now. This is the time of the day, night, that I get the most peace and quiet. The most. Like, absolute zero. Like, zero noise. Except for cars, but that adds to the ambiance. So, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, MGM Studios, and then, of course, you have Epcot. So, Epcot was originally Epcot was originally Epcot was originally going to be the name of the city that Walt Disney had planned prior to making Disney World a theme park. So Epcot would be the city of the future. That's what Walt Disney had planned. And this was the name that they had chosen for that city. But now, Epcot. Now, Epcot instead is the name of the park. And Epcot is the one I know the least about. Think of it like, what I do know is that sorry, guys. What I do know is that Epcot features pavilions. Each pavilion features a different part of the world. So you have Mexico, Europe, Asia, things like that. Each pavilion features a different part of the world. This is also where the Guardians of the Galaxy ride is home to. There's also a couple other rides, such as they like to have like there's parts of it that's like, hey, this is like the future, you know. They also have the Tron ride. The Tron ride is one of the first. Sorry, guys. So, the Tron ride was one of the first rides from outside parks brought into the US. So, the original, like the first ever Tron ride, is featured in Shanghai. Sorry, I had to adjust the camera a little bit. So yes, the Tron ride was brought from Shanghai, and they made one in Florida. So I really want to ride it. I really, really, really want to ride it. So that about covers the rides, the parks in the U.S. There are 3 other parks. Wait. No. Yeah. So there's 3 other parks around the world. You have Disneyland Paris. Originally known, or rather called, most hated opening of any park. Euro Disney was a disaster when opening. Sales, attendance did not meet. What's the saying go? Did not make it meet. Something along those lines. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I had to do a little cut there, but anyway. So, Euro Disney was a near disaster when they opened. Attendance was low. People were already boycotting it, like prior to them even opening. They did have a large number of Imagineers go overseas who built the first two parks, to help out with building the other Disney parks around the world. So Paris was one of them, Euro Disney, as well as Shanghai Disney. So Shanghai Disneyland, there's not really too much I can say about Shanghai Disneyland. The interesting facts I have about Shanghai Disneyland, I want to cover in a video. Where I talk more in detail about the rides in there. So for now, Shanghai Disneyland was another park that was built around the world. Alongside that was Tokyo Disney Sea. Tokyo Disney Sea. And Tokyo Disney Sea is the most recent park to get new additions. I spelled Mew. I can't believe I actually spelled Mew. To get new additions. And those additions were the Fantasy Springs, which featured Frozen, Tangled, and Peter Pan. Features Frozen, Tangled, and Peter Pan. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything, because Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland Paris, Tokyo Disney Sea, and Shanghai Disney. No, I think that's all of them. Of course, there's also the resort that's in Hawaii, but that's not an amusement park. It's not the same type of resort as you would call Disney World Resort or Disneyland Resort. It's just like a vacation getaway hotel sort of thing. But so those are the Disney parks. The next video I do to this topic, we are going to focus on Disneyland. I'm going to focus on Disneyland. There's a lot of cool stuff I want to talk about. How Walt Disney got the original concepts of a lot of the rides, how they came to be, some secrets that you can see if you're visiting Disneyland for the first time, or if there's secrets that you don't know about, like the steamboat, or the gondolas that used to travel through the Matterhorn, hidden things and such. So, with that in mind, oh, I hope that wasn't loud. It's 2 a.m. I'm feeling sleepy. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like. If you found yourself eeping, or if you did fall asleep and you're here and you're just listening to see what you missed, thanks. Means a lot. And I guess you're welcome. I guess I'm doing my job right. Well, not a job. I guess I'm doing something right. So, with all in that in mind, get some rest so you can rise and shine.